Welcome to the French Newfy. I'm Erin MacDonald. Now we are in the middle of winter. Everyone is in a deep freeze and froze to death. And today I'm making an ooey gooey winter baked Brie. It's delicious and I'm gonna show you how I make it. So we're gonna make a simple syrup first. And simple syrup is as simple as it sounds. It's 2 parts sugar and 1 part water. So I'm gonna get my burner on first. And I'm going to make a brown sugar simple syrup. And that's the kind that I like to use for this recipe. If you want to use white instead of brown, go ahead and use the white. But for this recipe, I'm using brown sugar. So I have 2 cups of brown sugar and I'm going to get that into my pot that I have turned on already. So get that in. Lovely. I love brown sugar. And we're gonna go in with the water. So 1 cup of water. And just get that going. Oh, you can hear it. It takes not long at all, like 3 or 4 minutes. Turn off the heat, but it's not done yet. I'm gonna add some vanilla. And I love vanilla, and I was lucky enough to be in Madagascar recently. They have the best vanilla in the world. I wasn't going home without my vanilla. So I have the beautiful pods that I brought back with me. And I'm just gonna give this a quick stir. We don't want any of that brown sugar burning. It will smell terrible and you cannot use it. So I'm just gonna take the vanilla bean and a knife and split it down the center, just like that. And already you can see some of those beautiful vanilla beans and seeds are coming out. This is what they call the caviar of the pod of the vanilla bean, and it's beautiful and fragrant, and there's no vanilla extract that you could buy in the store that is going to replace the actual vanilla bean and the seeds that come out. I have quite a bit coming out on my board. I'm just gonna split the other side down like this. And then try and open it up like that. And you can see all of those beautiful seeds and vanilla. Oh my God. Take the back of your knife and just go in through it like that. And you see all of the vanilla is coming out. It's beautiful. The smell is unreal. And then I'm gonna try and get some out of the other end. And there you go. Lovely. And now with the back of the knife, just pick it up gently and get it into my beautiful brown sugar simple syrup. And because there's still quite a bit of seeds in here, you don't want to spoil or lose any of that, throw the pod right in as well. And I can still see there's more on my board and more on my fingers. I'm gonna get that all off. And there's so much vanilla seeds in this pod that I'm just gonna use 1. It's gonna be absolutely beautiful today. So next we're gonna move on to some orange, some citrus. I really love to have citrus with my cheese. There's gonna be a little bit of savory, we'll get to that later. But first we're gonna take the humble orange. And I absolutely love orange for this recipe, as I said. We're just gonna peel it. So you wanna take off the top first and then take off the bottom. Stand it upright and get that down in my bin. And just with a curving motion, this is like all fruit, how you want to do it. It's very easy to get the rind off. Just kind of curve in as you go. You're getting all that white rind. It's very bitter. We don't want any of that. So try and get as much of that white off as you can. Curving as you go. Very nice. Just like that. Keep going. Almost there. And take a look. It's looking really good. It smells beautiful in here. The brown sugar and the vanilla. Oh my God. And now get all of these pieces down into my bin. And what we want to do now is to just cut them. So they're very pretty. They almost look like a star. And get them into my platter a little bit later. Perfect, done. And now we're gonna move on to rosemary, and I love rosemary. I think rosemary is a savory addition to this dish that I just love. It's got a subtle kind of a woody scent to it. It smells like winter, and I'm just gonna take it off. So you take your hands and run down through the stem like this, and all these little sprigs are gonna come off. You don't want this woody part. You don't want to bite into it. And you really want to cut the rosemary quite well. If you bite into this, it's very perfumey. No one wants to chew on a big piece of rosemary. So I'm gonna go through it and make sure that it's chopped really, really fine. You just want little bits of the rosemary. And keep going. Back of the knife, as always, as I preach. Chopping all the way, little bits like that. And the smell is beautiful from rosemary too. This is so delicious and yummy. Great for the evening. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is get my beautiful dish. My oven is already preheating to 375 degrees. You want it to get really hot. Now, I have my beautiful Brie here, and Brie is one of my favorite cheeses, and the baked Brie is even better because it's ooey and gooey. So let's just get that out, just like that. Now there is a paper on it, and you need to remove the paper. Don't bake the paper. And there you have the beautiful Brie. I could eat this whole brick on my own. It's not good for you. Now, a lot of times people think that you can't eat the rind. You can absolutely eat the rind. If someone tells you that you can't, tell them they're wrong. This is just hardened cheese that develops naturally. So keep it on. And I'm going to take my beautiful platter or dish that I have to put my Brie in. I'm gonna get a little tiny bit of olive oil down inside. Not too much because cheese is quite rich. But you don't want the orange segments or anything like that to run the risk that it might burn. That would be terrible. Now, this has been going for a couple of minutes, my simple syrup. I'm gonna turn off the heat and let it cool. Now, take the orange segments that I have and just push that all around, kind of line them. It's so beautiful, this dish. Get it around like that. And then right in the center, I'm going to put that beautiful ooey gooey Brie. And I'm going to take my knife, and what I want to do is just poke a couple of holes into the Brie, right into the top like that. You'll see why in a minute. And again, I'm going to take that rosemary, the beautiful rosemary that I finally chopped, and I'm going to put it right over, sprinkle it over those orange segments, sprinkle it over the Brie. A little bit of salt. You need a pinch of salt so you can balance out the flavors. So get a nice pinch of the salt. Salty flakes I have going into this, really good quality. Good quality ingredients. You always want to use that. It's going to ensure the best flavor. And some cracked black peppers. Get a little bit of the pepper in as well. And this simple syrup is done. I'm going to save this as a new batch. You want to let it cool. Don't try and handle this, it'll burn you. It can give you third-degree burns, sugar syrup. So I already have one done. And what I'm gonna do is just take a spoon, and that's why I poked the holes into the Brie. So some of this beautiful vanilla brown sugar syrup is gonna go into it. So just spoon that down over the oranges, over the Brie. I kept the pod in there. I mean, this stuff is like gold, especially the Madagascar vanilla. I'm so lucky to have visited and been able to bring it back with me. So get a good amount down, just like so. And for appearances, I'm gonna add a nice vanilla pod, just crack it and put it right on top, and another sprig of rosemary. Now my oven is piping hot. I'm gonna put it in for around 7 to 8 minutes. And keep an eye on it, because as soon as you see that Brie start to ooze and bubble out, you know that it's done. So I'm gonna get it into the oven, and I will be back shortly to show you the masterpiece. Now, around 10 minutes have elapsed since my Brie has been in the oven, and I've been keeping an eye on it. You need to make sure that that sugar syrup don't burn, and of course you want to wait until it starts to come apart and ooze out. So without further ado, oh yeah, let's get that out and up onto my burner. Beautiful. Now I'm just gonna put it onto a really pretty platter, and it's gonna be fabulous. Just for some more presentation. You always wanna think about that, how you're serving it. So this brie is done. It's piping hot. Be very careful. Get that onto the board, just like that. Let me turn it around so you can see it when it comes out. Beautiful. I'm gonna go in for some nice orange. And the orange segments are sweet and caramelized. They have that rosemary. It's gonna be really pretty as well. It's a nice accompaniment for the cheese, actually. If you soak it up with some crackers or some bread. Beautiful. Just get this off to the side. Don't miss any of those pieces of the orange. It's absolutely beautiful. And just another one. And then also we have that beautiful juice. So I'm gonna get a tiny bit of that juice down over it. So just grab a spoon, and it's very hot. Don't forget that. Don't go burning your hands. And get this over like that, and pour it down over the top. Fabulous. Wow. And put it also over the orange, because you have the juice from the orange. So you have orange juice down onto the platter. Now, let me just take a look. I'm gonna put some crackers as well. This is really beautiful to serve up at night. A nice evening treat. Also, it'd be great for after dinner if you don't wanna have dessert. This is a great dessert. The French serve cheese all the time as a dessert, and it's one of my favorites. So, there you have my winter baked brie. I really hope that you give it a try, share it with someone special on a winter night with a glass of port. And if this don't get you out of your winter blues, I'm not sure what will. Enjoy. I hope you try.